Hi, I'm Vince Weston, and here's an update on the Williams Brothers Pitcairn Autogiro in 1/48 scale. I haven't made a lot of progress, I guess it would look like, since most of what I've been doing, I've been highly distracted and haven't had a lot of time at the workbench, but what I've been doing is working most of the parts. The molding is tough, to say the least, particularly on where the mold lines are. Every piece needs cleanup. There is some flash, but the molds don't meet completely correctly. So I've spent a lot of time sanding edges and cleaning up mold lines and trying to get things together. One of the things I have fairly finished is the engine, motor, whichever you like to call it. There's the back side. It basically comes in like 5 parts with the main piston area, and then inputs and outputs. The exhaust will hook on here, and of course there's the pin for the propeller. So I've gotten that pretty much done. I'm fairly happy with that. The next thing that was basically up in the build is to start building the interior the interior of the fuselage, which is typical for any aircraft. Basically, one thing to note is there are no pins really to hold the two halves of the fuselage together. They meet flat. And I've painted the inside white as was suggested, and then did a little detail painting and put some shadowing underneath the ribs, which aren't very large. There isn't very deep detail to the interior. And one of the things I discovered as I was you build most of it into the starboard side. The one thing I've come to notice is that it does start to hold itself in line because of the pieces, and it lines up pretty well. That was also part of the slow moving of building the interior, was basically putting in a couple of parts like the bulkheads and then holding the two pieces together to make sure everything aligns properly, and then putting in another piece like the pedals and holding it together till the glue dries, and etc., until I've gotten pretty much everything in the interior completed. One thing I did, they have little notches on the bottom for the seats to rest on, but I've moved them up so that they fit across a part of a bulkhead here, which I'm going to sort of use more or less as a headrest for it. But it now aligns pretty easily, and that'll be the next step, is for me to get the fuselage together. And that's what I'm hoping to get at today. Then once that's done, I can start working on the wings and the tail section, and then we get to start working on the autogyro parts, which are going to be a little interesting. There's a lot of detail work and some rigging that needs to be done. That was one of the preliminary things I had to do, was start drilling the holes for the rigging. Then once I get most of the fuselage together, like I said, hopefully today, I'll fill the interior with some wet cotton or something, damp cotton, and then I can spray the body. I'm going for a two-tone look, similar to this advertisement as you've seen before, with a dark blue and a light blue coloration with a red stripe. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll have a update more recently, well, sooner than this one took to get to. Talk to you later. Bye.